Over the next 3 weeks, you are going to be learning the tools for writing argument. And you'll have an opportunity to practice writing all of the parts of an argumentative piece using a topic that you're excited about. So today, before we get rolling on this lesson, I would love for you to take a couple minutes to choose your topic. So maybe that's a hobby. One of the students in one of my classes has this incredible business where she makes and sells her own makeup. So I was thinking that would be a really cool topic. Maybe you just recently got on one of the spring sports. So maybe you want to write about one of the spring sports. Maybe you want to write about an artistic medium you've been really into or just a brand new hobby. Maybe there's something you've been thinking about that would be a cool topic. So I have been noticing a ton of people wearing overalls, and I loved overalls when they were in high school. So I'm thinking maybe they're back in style and I want a pair. So I could write about overalls. Even a silly topic like overalls is something that I can develop an argument about. It works. Maybe you have an idea that came from a movie you recently watched or a book you recently read. Or maybe you already have an argument in mind. Maybe you're passionate about something like banning single-use plastics. Really, your topic just needs to be something that you can develop an argument about. Once you have your topic, and you could take a couple minutes to brainstorm a few topics, but once you have one that you're excited about, what I want you to do is I want you to write your central claim. So you're going to take a stance, you're going to take a position on that topic. You need to develop one argument that you're going to make about that topic. So for example, say that I'm writing about the makeup example. Maybe my argument or my central claim is that people should make their own makeup. Maybe if I'm writing about overalls, I want to argue that overalls are a great new/old trend in fashion. Maybe if I'm writing about social media, I want to argue that social media can be positive or that social media can be addictive. I was just thinking about that movie that you recently watched in social studies. Or if you already have your argument, maybe that argument or central claim is that we should ban single-use plastic. What I want you to do right now is I want you to pause the video and I want you to go brainstorm a few topics, write a few central claims or arguments for those topics, and then decide which one are you excited to write about. You are not going to fully develop this argument. You are not going to publish this piece. This is just a topic that you're going to use to practice several of these argumentative tools. So once you have that topic, we're going to get started on the lesson. And today we're going to be learning about your hook. So your hook is the very first few sentences in your argumentative piece. This is going to be what kicks off your introductory paragraph. So today we are not going to look at the rest of the intro paragraph. We are just going to focus on writing a hook that really captures the reader's attention within the first few lines. So a really great hook, the right hook, can make someone laugh. It can make someone think. Maybe it really makes the reader think. Or maybe it makes them feel empathy or sad about the topic. Whatever you choose to do, your hook really needs to capture the reader's attention within the first few lines of your piece. So I am going to model this. I'm going to model some of the options you have for hooks, and then you're going to get to practice writing several different hooks. And I'm going to use one of the ideas that I was excited about came from one of the articles that we looked at when we were looking at text structure, and it was the article about women's representation in film, so how little women play lead roles in film. So one of your options for a great hook is a surprising statistic. So you might go online and you might find a statistic about your topic that really helps kind of grab the reader's attention and get your reader thinking about your topic. So here's my surprising statistic. San Diego State University recently published a study about women in the film industry. They found that women accounted for 24% of protagonists in the 100 top grossing domestic films of 2017, a decrease of 5 percentage points from the year before. I thought this was a crazy statistic. That women account for less than a quarter of all of the lead roles in the top 100 grossing, like the money-making films, which I thought was crazy. So I could start with a surprising statistic. I could start with an expert quote. This can be testimony from someone famous. This might be testimony from a scientist or someone that's an expert on your topic. So here's my expert quote that I thought would get people starting to think about the topic. Until I saw people who looked like me doing things that I wanted to do, said Lupita Nyong'o, lead actress in Hollywood hit Black Panther. I wasn't sure that it was a possibility. Sorry, there should be a quote there. Quotation marks there. So I loved this quote because I thought that it might really get the reader thinking about the topic of how little women are play these lead roles in Hollywood films, and how these girls, right, like Lupita Nyong'o, right, who want to be actresses, they really don't see themselves in film. So I thought that might be a great way to grab my reader's attention and to get them starting to think about the topic. Maybe you want to use a personal example. This one's really powerful for writing a hook. As a child, I loved movies, especially movies that featured women. It wasn't until I was a teenager that I realized that almost all of my favorite movies featured men in powerful roles. They swoop in, voices booming, and save the day. Women, on the other hand, if featured at all, played the romantic interest, damsel in distress, or were just there to wear sexy lingerie. Right? I'm grabbing the reader's attention. The reader has to be interested in this topic by that last line, right? So really capture the reader's attention. Think about how you can, as an author, right, how you can use your own experiences, your own examples in writing a really attention-grabbing hook. You can make a connection. This is a great way to write a hook, to really connect to your reader. Think about what about your topic your reader is going to care about. And so I was thinking about, for my connection, making a connection to some of the films that maybe that the reader has already seen. So here's my make a connection hook. 2018 was a year full of blockbusters. Whether it was Avengers, Infinity War, Jurassic World, Aquaman, or one of other hits, I'm going to guess that at some point this year you found yourself sitting in a dark theater, a $15 ticket in your pocket, watching a must-see film. I'm also going to guess that film featured a male lead, right? I know that my reader has probably gone to see a hit film this year, and so I'm going to play on that, and then I'm going to end with that film probably featured a male lead, right? Introducing my topic. You could start with a definition. I thought maybe defining blockbuster was a way to start. A blockbuster is a film that is extremely popular and brings in a ton of money. Usually, these are Hollywood films that are made with huge budgets and big name stars. Although some of these big name stars may be women, very few are featured as the leading role. Why? Hollywood knows what sells, and it's not women. Right? Again, I'm ending with a punch. You want your hook to really grab the reader's attention and make them want to continue reading your piece. Clever question is one that is often overused. Please do not start with an overused cliche question like, did you know that women are not represented in film? Instead, you can use this if you're going to get creative. So here's my question. It's actually not even my first line. We've all seen at least a few blockbuster films. When you think back at all the films that you've watched, how many times have you seen a character in a lead role who looked like you? I'm asking the reader to think about how many times they've seen a character that looked like them. If the answer is all the time, you're probably a white guy, right? It gets them thinking about how probably if they've seen a character that looks a lot like them over and over and over, they're probably a white guy. If they haven't, they're probably female or a person of color. Introducing the topic, but grabbing the reader's attention. And then our last hook that we're going to play with today is using your narrative tools. And I know a lot of you love this because you are so fantastic at writing narrative. So here's my example for using your narrative tools. I sat in the dark theater, awestruck at her strength. She spoke with power and people listened. She didn't have to use her body, her sexuality to get people's attention. I watched instead as the men played the secondary role of her love interest. Leaving the theater that day, I felt empowered. So what I want you to do now is I want you to take your topic. Let's jump back to our topic. Whatever your claim was, your central claim was that you wrote, take that central claim and I want you to write several different hooks. Your hook should make the reader laugh. Maybe it makes the reader think. Maybe it makes the reader feel sad or angry about something about your topic. But what's important is that it captures the reader's attention within those first few lines. So your goal today is to write at least 3 or 4 different hooks about your central claim. So 3 or 4. Choose surprising statistic, expert quote, personal example, maybe make a connection, define it, clever question, or using your narrative tools. But choose 3 to 4 that you think you can play with. Get online, go look and see what you can find, and you need to write those 3 to 4 hooks in your composition notebook. Get started, please.